Welcome to Pop Cult, where we talk reality TV, celebrity chaos, and pop culture throwbacks.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Pop Cult. We're your hosts. I'm Julia.
And I'm Avery.
And we post 2 episodes every single week. Tuesdays are for our reality digest, where we go over last week's reality chaos and all of the shows and all of the fun stuff. And Thursdays are for our Fame Files, where we go over past pop culture events that are still relevant today. We can talk about celebrities, do a deep dive on them. We talk about divorces. We talk about Bachelor in Paradise couples. I'm trying to think of other examples. Jen Shaw. I don't know.
Oh, Lord. Celebrity crimes.
Crimes. Yeah.
All types of stuff.
Yeah, just anything, really.
And I feel like we're kind of starting to expand our horizons, too, to, like, general pop culture things. Like, for example, this obviously wouldn't happen for a couple more months, but like when it comes time for like late July, early August, I really want to do an episode on Bama Rush.
Oh, yeah.
And how that just took over the internet in what, like 2021 or something like that? I don't even remember. But yes, today we are talking about a celebrity divorce, Kimye.
Kimye.
I forgot that was their couple name until I started writing this episode.
I hate that. They're just Kim and Kanye to me.
Kim and Kanye. It does have a nice ring to it. I will give them that. This episode is a lot of like back and forth on social media, so forgive me if it's a lot of quotes and statements and stuff. But it is relevant, and I really did learn a lot, or just like a lot of this resurfaced in my brain. What do you know about this?
Oh God, so much.
Yeah,
I'm very much involved. I've been watching the Kardashians for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's details that I've like forgotten, but I'm on Kim's side, and nothing that's said today would change that.
Samesies.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because I was like, are we about to fight about this?
What, Avery? Why
no,
on
I knew
earth
you would
would I be on Kanye's side?
No, I knew you would.
Beyond the marriage, he is a terrible human being.
I agree. And I'm looking forward to you adding your input and your context into all of this. So
great.
Okay, starting out, we're going to talk a little bit about how they came to be husband and wife. If you guys like don't know who these people are, I really can't help you. I hate to say it. I'm not going to go
literally
through
like one of the most like famous people in the world.
Right,
like,
both
the
of them.
Kardashian family.
Truly. They originally met in 2003-ish through mutual friends and just like industry events. But it actually wasn't until October 2011 that they were spotted together for the first time at his fashion show in Paris. I actually think that this was like very soon after she had filed for divorce from Chris Humphries. And that's just like
I just watched that episode because I've been rewatching the Kardashians.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. I need to rewatch it. It's so funny. Those earlier seasons are
They're so funny.
It's still funny, but God, some of the stuff that happened in those early seasons. He then writes a song about her in 2012, and that same year he appears on Keeping Up with the Kardashians for the first time. They got married in 2014 in Florence, Italy. You stole my wedding country.
You want to get married in Italy? I got married in Italy. Who performed at my wedding? Who was it?
Andrea Bocelli.
Who
performed at Courtney's wedding?
Andrea Bocelli.
So you stole my wedding country and my wedding singer. Stop. Like, I love Kim Kardashian.
I love her.
But yes, so they got married in Florence, Italy, and their wedding was televised on the Kardashians, of course. Like, why wouldn't it be? A lot of people chalk up the reason for their marriage failing being due to how wildly different their backgrounds and upbringings were. Like, they just came from such different worlds. She grew up in Calabasas, basically in the spotlight, and he grew up in Chicago, and I think that they just had very different family dynamics.
Or he's just psychotic.
Fair enough. But yeah, clearly, different environments. So do it that way you will. There's also a lot of talk on how this bothers me, really catapulted her to fame and brought her from D-list to A-list.
He brought her from D-list to A-list?
Yeah.
No.
It's funny because I think we're such Kardashian fans that like we obviously are like, absolutely not. She was so famous. But I do think that when they got together, we really didn't hold reality TV to the same esteem that we do now. Like now, personally me, I would be more excited to meet like Ariana Madix on the street than I would like Blake Lively. You know what I mean? Like I would so much rather meet one of my reality show stars than like an actual film or movie celebrity or artist.
Oh, same.
But like I don't feel like it's always been like that. I kind of feel like for a while reality TV stars really were considered D-list.
I mean,
so I
taking Taylor Swift out of the equation.
Totally. Fair point. We're not talking about you, Taylor, if you're listening. Anyway, I don't really appreciate that because I feel like it's discrediting, you know, what Kim has done to make herself famous, which, you know, like it or not, she has definitely worked hard to make a name for herself. In 2013, their first child, Northwest, is born, and by May 2014, they were officially married. Their second child, Saint, was born in 2015, Chicago in 2018, and Psalm in 2019. So they have 4 children together.
Love it.
May 2013, they appear at the Met Gala together for the first time, and I actually believe that this was the first time that a Kardashian had been invited.
True. Yeah, I don't think that they had. I think that was the first time that she went.
So I think that this kind of goes with the D-list accusations, like, because I remember that always being a big
That's
thing for
fair,
Kim.
but like also he was a musician,
Right.
and she like just reality hadn't gotten to the point where like it was okay for them to come to the Met yet.
Right. And like I feel like I remember Kim talking about that on the show, that it was always something that made her feel self-conscious, like she couldn't achieve those things without him. Which clearly is not true, but yeah, I think I remember her.
I think
and
it
her
would have
sisters.
gotten to that point
Totally.
even without Kanye in the mix.
I totally agree. Also, just like side note, this was also the Met where she wore that awful dress that looked like a couch. Do you know what I'm
Was
talking
she
about?
pregnant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't her pregnancy that made her look bad. The
No,
pattern of the
but
dress
she's
was just
pregnant.
horrific.
That's how I know the outfit.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. I just don't want to think I'm shaming pregnant women. um anyway, in 2016 though, I feel as though this is kind of when things started to, like, the cracks started to form in their marriage, because this was the year that he started like all of these crazy public feuds with other celebrities, namely Wiz Khalifa and Taylor Swift, as we well know.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to touch on the Taylor Swift one too much because we'll probably do an episode on it, but starting with Wiz Khalifa, it was basically like a do you know about this? Like what I'm about to talk about?
I actually don't know if I know this specific feud.
I didn't either. It was basically a back and forth about an album title of Kanye's. I think he was naming his album something that Wiz Khalifa had also named an album, and so they're going back and forth on it, to which Wiz Khalifa responded with the phrase KK, like he's referring to something called KK, and Kanye thought that he was talking about Kim K, but he was actually referencing.
If somebody sent me KK, I'd be like, you're saying okay.
Yeah. He says that he was actually referencing weed, like K, the letters KK back to back are like a name for weed.
Oh.
Which I didn't know.
I never would have gotten there.
No, me neither. Which, like, fair enough for Kanye. Like, I'll give him that one. I also wouldn't have known that. But at that point, Kanye had already, like, gone off the rails and thought that he was trash talking Kim and bringing her into it. So he called Wiz Khalifa's ex, which is actually both of their ex, Amber Rose, a stripper, and even, like, brought their child into it. Amber Rose and Wiz Khalifa have a kid into it. He basically was like, you let a stripper trap you.
Oh.
Which is not a nice thing to say.
No.
Even if she was a stripper, which I do think she was, but still, like, we can move on. It's a low blow, especially considering you also dated her. And Kim also made a sex tape. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. Ultimately, Kanye did tweet, quote, I'm happy. Also, by the way, all this is going on down on Twitter, which is always funny to me. He says, I'm happy that I now know that KK means weed. Please excuse the confusion. But now back to hashtag waves, which is what he named his album. But, I mean, like, the toothpaste is out of the tube. Like, you can't put the toothpaste out of the back in the tube. Like, he already said some pretty rough things, and I think that Kim even reached out to Amber Rose to try and smooth things over. I think I saw some clips of her kind of talking about it, and she's like, I just don't understand, like, why he had to bring me into it, you know? We are not in touch, and, like, I guess I don't know why he's trying to make me feel badly for, you know, my past, which I think is a valid point. Like, it's none of Kanye's business. This feud had nothing to do with her.
No, it didn't.
Around this same time, going back to Taylor Swift quickly, is when the infamous I Made That Bitch Famous that we all know and hate came out.
Yep.
Kim's response to this was that she doesn't care about his song lyrics. And, like, obviously we know that there was so much that happened between Kim and Taylor and Kanye and Kim and Taylor and Kanye and Taylor.
Yep.
Like I said, we'll probably do an episode on this. Maybe even, like, an episode where we talk about all of the feuds that Taylor's been in.
Oh,
What do
that
you
could be
think about
interesting.
that? Like, not that I want to throw my girl under the bus, but, like, there's been a lot of feuds. So, perhaps.
People trying to bring her down.
I know. Like, they hate a successful woman.
Exactly.
At the end of the day. So all of this kind of started some rumors circling that she was getting really frustrated with his impulsivity to essentially just start beef with people. It's like, what are we doing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then cut to November 2016, Kanye is sent to the UCLA Medical Center for a psych evaluation because of erratic behavior. And mind you, this was very shortly after Kim's Paris robbery, and he also ended up canceling a tour around the same time that I think he was, like, fully in the middle of.
Well, that was very terrifying, I'm sure.
So traumatic. But also, I mean, I just, like, I sympathize so much with Kim and all that, because it's like she literally just got robbed at gunpoint, and, like, her husband's the one breaking down.
Fair.
Like, what? Anyway, not to get too much into that, because clearly he has some other mental health struggles that we're going to talk about in depth. But also, in this instance, he was actually 51-50'd, which means that it was an involuntary cycle.
Oh, he was taken? Okay.
Yes, his doctor ordered it. And I think I saw that, like, the doctor called 911. Like, I'm pretty sure that, like, we have the 911 records, and the doctor's like, you need to bring police and medics because he's going to need to be taken to the hospital, but also, like, he's not going to go easily. By December, he and Kim were officially living separately as he was supposedly receiving outpatient care.
Got it.
So for a few months, and really, like, for the first half of 2017, there's these rumors circling, and like, some rumors that they're having issues, and, like, typically, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. Then, in May of 2017, Kim attends the Met Gala without Kanye, where she's quoted telling Andre Leon Talley. Do you know who that is?
Maybe?
So, he was the editor-at-large of Vogue for a really long time.
Okay.
Also the first African-American male creative director, which is cool.
Hell yeah.
But he also, this is how I came to find out about him, he was a judge on America's Next Top Model for several seasons.
Got it.
So, A&TM Icon, she tells him that Kanye has, quote, been taking some time off and really loving that.
So did he spill that to the press, or how do we know about that?
I think he was interviewing her at the Met Gala. Yeah, because Vogue Met, yeah.
Got it.
In 2018 is when Kanye, for the first time, opens up about his bipolar diagnosis. But then he kind of goes on this rampage of, like, chaotic media appearances, and it was very obvious that he was not medicated.
Okay.
However, in my opinion, like, things must have at least been a little bit better, because a month later is when they enlisted a surrogate to carry their third child, Chicago.
Okay. Wow, but I thought they were taking a break.
No, they're not taking a break. He's been taking time off from, like, his career.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. Throughout a lot of their relationship, which I'm curious about your perspective on this, because I definitely always picked up on this, but I always thought that they were such a pretty solid couple that I never thought too much of it. But throughout a lot of their relationship, it was very well known that Kanye was very controlling of Kim, specifically regarding what she would wear. Like, I remember her always saying, like, I'm so insecure when Kanye is not dressing me. Like, I just don't trust anyone but him to dress me, which I always thought was a really strange thing to say.
That's an odd thing to say.
Do you remember that?
I remember that, but I also remember the Yeezy stuff. That's his shoe brand, right?
Yeah.
Or no, not his shoe brand, but, like, maybe he's in contract with them. I don't know.
Well, it's his brand, but yeah, they do shoes and clothes.
Because I remember, like, Nike offered her a massive, it was Nike or some shoe brand, I don't remember, a massive amount of money, and she, like, turned it down because of Yeezy.
Right.
But, like, to thank her, he, like, gave her shares in Yeezy, I think. She explains it on Ellen, actually. Fun fact.
I could see that. Interesting. Well, I don't know if you remember this, but in 2019, there's a clip on the show of her talking to him about how he's really making her super anxious before the 2019 Met Gala, because is telling her that her outfit is too sexy and that it affects him because she's his wife. And I put this in here. It's like, I know it seems a little random, but I put this in here because I really think that it shows that things like this were probably happening a lot more frequently and a lot more severely behind the scenes.
Okay.
And to me, it's like, you know, you knew who you were marrying. Kim Kardashian has never been like a modest queen. She's gonna show off her body. She's gonna show off
Yeah.
her figure. She's gonna flaunt
Was
what
this
she's
the height of
got.
her BBL?
Yeah, I think so. I keep seeing TikToks of people saying like with clips of the old show being
Like,
like,
wow, I didn't realize it was
I
that
can't
bad.
believe we thought it was in a BBL. Like, I can't believe they have really convinced us that it wasn't a BBL.
That's funny. Truly, if you ever want to know what the ideal body type of the era is, just look at a Kardashian because they change the way they look so much.
That is so true. Like, the moment that Kylie Jenner dissolved her lip filler, everybody else did too.
And the moment they all took out their boobs,
Their boobs.
you're like, wow.
Oh
Hello?
my god. Like, and you guys were
Their boobs and their butts.
So crazy. Also, isn't a BBL like an extremely dangerous surgery?
I think it's one of the ones that's like really up there.
Yeah, I know. I think the only one, well, obviously Kendall, but I think Courtney too. I don't think Courtney had a BBL, right?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
I really think it was just Kim, Chloe, and Kylie. Anyway, but regardless of that, I think it's like interesting to think about her kind of starting to show them getting into some conflict on the show, whereas previously like he either wasn't on the show or everything just seemed like it was going well. But like it did seem like it was going well up until July 4th of 2020. Truly
Jesus,
one of the
yeah.
worst years in history.
Horrible.
When Kanye West announces that he is running for president.
He actually got votes too.
Oh, I'm sure he
I don't know
still
if he
gets
ended up
votes.
running or if people were writing him in. I can't remember, but he definitely got votes.
I believe he dropped out of the race like the day before the election.
Right.
But yeah, so this was the 2020 election, and he officially announced his candidacy, if you can even call it that, with a tweet, I think, that read, quote, "We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I am running for president of the United States, hashtag 2020 vision." So that's his announcement. The thing that I think is so weird about this is that Kim retweeted it and responded with like an American
Girl.
flag emoji.
What are you doing?
Girl, like obviously weird behavior on his part, bizarre behavior on his part, but also very weird for her to be publicly endorsing.
I guess when you're married, you like have to. I don't know.
I guess. I don't know. Like, do you? Like, what? Anyway, this is the other reason why I think it's weird, because only a few weeks later, Kanye goes on this insane rant on social media about how Chris and Kim tried to lock him up by taking him to see a doctor out
What?
in Wyoming.
But you're saying this about your wife?
Yes! Now, the whole Wyoming thing, I know that he has a ranch in Wyoming. I'm not sure if he had this ranch at this point in time when he's talking about them trying to lock him up in Wyoming. I don't know, but just something to keep in mind. But basically, like, some of the things that he was saying about her were, I'm just going to read like a series of quotes. Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up with a doctor. Kim tried to bring a doctor to lock me up with a
I was
doctor.
gonna say, what?
Everybody knows the movie Get Out is about me. Chris and Kim, call me now. This yay, you ready to talk now or are still avoiding
He's
my
saying
calls?
Get Out is about him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is what he said. Last one, I put my life on my God that North's mom would never photograph her doing Playboy, and that's on God. I'm at the ranch. Come and get me.
I'm at the ranch.
Like, what? Okay, so yes, I guess he did have his rant at this point. Also, during this entire rant, he accused them of being white supremacists and even called Chris Jong-un in reference to the dictator of North Korea. But yeah, it's like literally never ending. Like, I feel like there was actually so many more, but I was like, I'm not reading all of those. But yeah, he's basically accusing them of trying to send him away so that they could protect the family image and not because he actually needed to be from like a medical standpoint, which I would say it's probably a little bit of both. In his defense, if I would say that they probably were trying to like, but also it's not even just to protect the family image, it's to protect his own image.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's like not the most pure intentions, but like, I don't know. I don't really, even if it was to protect the family image, I don't even think that that's really that bad. At this point is when Kim decided to speak out on everything that's going on with his bipolar disorder. She wrote a statement. It was pretty long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but
Okay.
at least parts of it said, quote, "As many of you know, Kanye has bipolar disorder. Anyone who has this or has a loved one in their life who does knows how incredibly complicated and painful it is to understand. I've never spoken publicly about how this has affected us at home because I am very protective of our children and Kanye's right to privacy when it comes to his health. But today I feel like I should comment on it because of the stigma and misconceptions about mental health. I kindly ask that the media and public give us the compassion and empathy that is needed so we can get through this."
Well, take his phone away.
Take his phone away. Anyway, so that all happens. Going back really quickly to 2020, he does, or I guess regarding like his president candidacy, he does a rally in South Carolina, the only rally that he did the entire time, mind you, which I thought that was a weird choice, where he speaks on how he and Kim had almost had an abortion when they found out that she was pregnant with North. And he's basically just talking about like, oh my God, like I might not have had my child, like just, you know, but I really think that this was the final straw for her.
Do you think he made that up?
I don't, but I think it's just such an invasion of her privacy,
Yeah.
even if he did make it up.
Like, she shares everything. Like, there's a probably reason she didn't share that.
Exactly. And like she, at this point in her life, by the time like this rolls around 2020, she has shared enough of her life on TV that like if she wants to keep that a secret, she can.
Absolutely.
You know, like she's earned the right to keep that private, in my opinion. But yeah, I really do think that this was the final straw because she officially files for divorce in February of 2021.
Finally.
But the main issue was that he really didn't want the divorce. And this was pretty much all on her side from what we know.
Okay.
During this entire divorce scenario, Kanye went through upwards of 10 different lawyers.
Sounds right.
Yep, sounds on brand. Her lawyer, however, was a woman named Laura Wasser, I think it's Wasser, who was apparently a pretty notoriously successful divorce attorney. Go ahead, girl. But yeah, so she like had a really good lawyer on her side. And it seemed at least at the beginning, things were going pretty amicably. Like obviously he didn't want the divorce. I'm sure he's upset. I'm sure there was more happening behind the scenes, but publicly it seemed somewhat amicable. Because at one point during all this, he was performing a show and she was actually part of it. It was, I don't remember like what song it was or anything, but like it was actually quite unsettling to see. Like I would, if you have your phone, I would just Google it because she is wearing like this white veiled dress. It's very like Handmaid's Tale. Kim Kardashian, Kanye West concert, white veiled dress.
Oh. And we're like sure that was her.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
I don't know. Like
I guess there's always a chance that it wasn't, but I think it was. But like very Handmaid's Tale, no.
Yeah. Creepy.
I just didn't like it. Okay, so things seem to be fine up until October of 2021 when Kim appears on Saturday Night Live, which honestly, I thought her monologue was hilarious.
I have to watch it again, but I kind of remember it.
Yeah, like she is funny. I feel like she doesn't think she's funny. But anyway, during her monologue, he was also there in the audience. I feel that it's important to point that out. She takes a dig at him and she said all of these like amazing things about him, really hyping him up. And then she ends the monologue with, quote, "So you know that when I divorced him, it was because of his personality."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And he literally stormed out of the show.
Okay, bye. See you later. Why are you there to begin with?
Why are you there?
Literally,
I thought that was weird too, that he was there. I feel like I remember her saying on the show that she wanted him to be there because he made her feel less nervous. But like, she had to know that he was going to throw a fit over that, you know?
I'm sure she did, and she just didn't care.
Fair enough. But yeah, so Kanye's pissed. He goes on a podcast shortly after and says about her, quote, "SNL making my wife say I divorced him on TV because they just wanted to get that bar off, and I never have seen the papers. We're not even divorced."
Dude, I think you're getting there though.
You're on the way. You're certainly on the roller coaster to divorce, my friend. But to make matters worse, the next month is when Kim starts dating Pete Davidson.
Perfect. I loved that era for her.
I kind of did too. Yeah, so Kim starts dating Pete Davidson, which if you don't know who Pete Davidson is, he's a comedian. He's on SNL. He's like...
He was engaged to Ariana Grande, so are you living under a rock?
Engaged to Ariana Grande. He's probably quite a bit younger than Kim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so obviously Kanye finds out that they're dating. He's once again throwing a fit, says on some platform, maybe Twitter, maybe a podcast, I don't really know, quote, "How you gonna bring me to SNL, then kiss the dude you're dating right in front of me?"
Because you're divorced.
Because you're divorced. Well, and he's referencing that, so they kissed on during a skit on SNL.
Oh, yes, they did.
I think that that's what he's referencing.
Okay, so they weren't even dating yet.
That's the thing. Like, he's acting like they were dating while she was on SNL. They weren't, at least as far as we know. But regardless, he and Pete literally start this public feud via social media,
Right.
where Kanye is like threatening to kill him, and Pete is like intentionally provoking him.
Because he knows if he ends up dead, Kanye's going to jail.
Right. Well, and then, like, obviously, I mean, like, you can't murder someone. It's like illegal.
Well,
but
yeah, but like if Pete's like suspiciously dead, who are they gonna look to?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you're saying. If something had happened to him, he wanted people to know
Yeah.
that they had been in a feud. Okay. At one point, he gives him the nickname Skeet. I don't know where that came from.
I don't know.
Anyway, so, and like, one thing about Pete Davidson, like, he is the definition of like just does not give a shit. Like, he will do and say anything. He's a comedian. Like, a lot of them are like that, but he to me is pretty, I don't know the word I'm looking for, like, just like he knows no bounds, I guess. So we access these screenshots of these texts where Pete Davidson texts Kanye and says, "Yo, it's Skeet. Can you please take a second and calm down? It's 8 a.m. and it don't gotta be like this. Kim is literally the best mother I've ever met. What she does for those kids is amazing, and you are so lucky that she is your kid's mom. I've decided I'm not gonna let you treat us this way anymore, and I'm done being quiet. Grow the F up." And Kanye responds, "Oh, you using profanity. Where are you right now?" To which Pete responds, "In bed with your wife," followed by a selfie of Pete Davidson shirtless in a bed. Do we know if it's Kim's bed? Unsure, but
Unsure, but it'd be funny if it was.
And Kanye responds, "Happy to see you're out of the hospital and rehab." I do believe that Pete Davidson has a history with addiction, so
Yes.
he's taking a jab. And Pete responds, "Same here. It's wonders what those places do when you go get help. You should try it. I'm in LA for the day if you want to stop being a little internet bitch boy and talk."
Hey, he's being great.
I'm sure that there was more, but that's all I'm going to read. Shortly after this is when Kanye releases his song, "My Life Was Never Easy," with the lyric, quote, "God save me from the crash just so I can beat Pete Davidson's ass."
Okay.
That was funny. In the music video for this song, it's like a visualization of Pete Davidson decapitated as well, which is just like not good. Like, when you're
No.
one of the things that I was reading about was just the fact that like Kanye has such a large fan base, and if you're basically advocating for like this man to die, that's like a very dangerous thing to do. Like, he's at one point he even posted a picture of on Instagram of like a fake newspaper mock-up, and the headline is "Skeet Davidson dead at 28."
That's lovely.
Yeah, he also posted, I think, on Instagram with the caption, "Pete Davidson must be eliminated. No, you will never meet my children," like all this wacko stuff. And the irony of this is that he was so awful to Kim about dating Pete Davidson while he was literally dating Julia Fox, I'm pretty sure at the same time.
Bruh.
And he was allegedly calling different radio announcers, which, like, what are the radio announcers? Like, what? But he was telling them to not support Kim dating other people.
Okay, well, what are they gonna do?
Well, and also, you're dating other people.
You're apparently dating Julia Fox.
Get a life. And she said about their relationship at one point, obviously after they broke up, they did, I think, sometime between like 2021 and 2022, which, mind you, Kim filed for divorce in November of 2021.
Yeah.
She said about him, quote, "It just seems like he had a lot to work on, and I just don't have the time for it or the energy. I don't have the bandwidth or emotional capacity for it."
Yeah, dump his ass.
Seriously. Then, in December of 2021, Kim files to be legally single, which sounds strange, but it means essentially that she's getting the actual divorce really early in the process without having to wait for the financial or custody decisions to be made.
Okay, got it.
So she just wants to like be able to go back to her maiden name and be declared single, like, by the government. Kanye objects to this and actually like goes to the court and asks them to deny it, but by March of 2022 she was granted that request, and his attempts to object it had failed.
I feel like him trying to deny it probably just made those people be like, oh yeah, she can have it then. Because like, why else would he fight it?
Right, because also you guys are already getting divorced. Like, it's not like this is, like, she's divorcing you. This is not a separation with hopes that you guys are going to come back together, you know? In February of 2022, when all of this is going on, he sent her truckfuls of flowers for that Valentine's Day because he was trying to get her back.
No.
Which is just like a manipulative thing to do. And like,
Yeah.
dude, seriously? Like, you're supposedly dating Julia Fox at this point. So make that make sense. But all in all, it just seemed like he was trying to draw out the divorce as long as possible to try and change her mind, I think is really what was going on. But what they were trying to avoid at this point was taking this divorce to trial. Like, instead of just figuring it out with their lawyers between the two of them, it's getting to the point where it's like about to have to go to trial, which means that a judge would be deciding everything versus the two of them deciding like how they would the judge is now going to decide like how they would proceed with their kids, for example. Worst case scenario, if this went to trial, he could have lost custody of his children altogether.
Okay. He doesn't want that, I'm assuming.
No, he doesn't. Although his behavior would maybe say otherwise. But his lawyers were also in a really difficult spot because they're like, we have no idea what is going to happen if we put him on the stand.
Oh God, what on earth would that man say?
Right. And both of them had agreed that they were going for joint custody. But once they separated, Kim started showing off their kids in the media a little bit more, and Kanye started to have issues with Kim's parenting choices.
Okay.
They really were trying to make it work with the co-parenting thing, though. Like, at one point, he bought the house across the street from Kim so he could be more involved. I'm not entirely sure what ended up happening with that house.
I don't know, but I really don't think he sees them that often.
No, he doesn't. We'll talk about it a little bit. But once again, we are at the point where he is on a rant on Instagram where he's going on and on and on about how he is not allowing his daughter North specifically to be used for TV.
Okay.
And then there's North's presence on TikTok. Have you ever seen any of her TikToks?
No, but they're run by Kim, aren't they?
Yes, they are. So her account is a joint account with Kim, and I literally think it's called like North and Kim or something. And she's not allowed to access it or post without Kim's supervision. But of course, this isn't good enough for Kanye, and it pisses him off, which, like, I understand you not wanting your kids in the public eye. Your wife is on a TV show.
Yeah,
and she has been.
Maybe you guys should have discussed that prior to you having a kid.
That's the thing. Like, I just don't see how you avoid it to a certain extent. Like,
you can't when your life is like that.
Especially because she has them full time.
Yeah.
Although I do think they do a pretty good job of making sure that the kids aren't like a main focus.
I agree. And they like Mason doesn't, yeah, he doesn't film.
No, he doesn't. And honestly, Courtney's kids really don't.
No.
Even like Penelope, I feel like really doesn't. Sometimes we'll see the younger one.
Rain.
And the baby. Rain, yes.
Rocky. At least I think that's the kid's name.
So, yeah, this pisses him off. He posts a screenshot on Instagram of TikTok's user guidelines talking about age minimums. And he captions it, quote, and okay, as I'm reading this entire thing is in all caps. Since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will, question mark.
Okay. Against my will.
Against my will. Kim responds, quote, Kanye's constant attacks on me in interviews and on social media is actually more hurtful than any TikTok North might create. I am doing my best to protect our daughter while also allowing her to express her creativity in the medium that she wishes with adult supervision because it brings her happiness.
Okay.
Then there's the instance where Kim calls herself the primary caretaker, saying she's the parent who is the main provider and caregiver for our children. Kanye's response, I believe this was like via text message, was, what do you mean by main provider? Does he need us to spell it out for him?
Do we need to look at like some like tax documents, or what does he need?
Perhaps a definition, a calendar, like we can pull out the receipt. Anyway, then in February 2022, he claims that Kim has been keeping his kids from him. No. He's doing all of this publicly on Instagram. So I'm going to read a bunch of quotes for the next bit. So this first one, again, in all caps, so just envision that.
Got it.
It reads, quote, I want to bring my kids to my hometown of Chicago to see my basketball team play for 7,000 people, and Kim is stopping that. How is this joint custody?
I'm sure it was for a good reason.
Yeah.
'Kay.
I also don't believe that she did that. I don't think
No,
he asked
he probably
her.
didn't ask. Yeah.
Yeah. The month before that, he also posted on Instagram, quote, "I'm being the best father, the yay version of a father. I'm not finna let this happen. Chicago, happy birthday. I love you, and I'm just putting this online because I need y'all's support. I did call Kim, texted nannies. I got on the phone with Tristan. He asked Chloe, won't nobody give me the address to my daughter's birthday party right now? That's gonna imprint in her mind that I wasn't there for her."
Yep. And
Yeah.
what about it?
A month after that, he said about Kim, quote, "America saw you try to kidnap my daughter on her birthday by not providing the address."
Girl.
Mind you, this is all happening within the same couple of months. Like, these quotes, he's sending her the flowers, the truckfuls of, like, he's dating Julia Fox, like, she's dating Pete Davidson. Like, it's just a lot happening.
Yeah.
Then he starts claiming that Kim is drug testing him. He said, quote, "You put security on me inside of the house to play with my son, then accuse me of stealing. I had to take a drug test after Chicago's party because you accused me of being on drugs."
Okay.
A day later, he posted on Instagram in all caps, "Yesterday, Kim accused me of putting a hit out on her. So let me get this straight. I begged to go to my daughter's party, and I'm accused of being on drugs. Then I go play with my son, and I take my Akira graphic novels, and I'm accused of stealing."
So you did take something.
What's Akira? What is that? Do you know what
It's
that
just
is?
I don't know. I'm sure it's just like a I don't want to say brand, but like a
Series?
yeah.
Okay, I just didn't know because you like to read a lot, so I didn't know.
Okay, great. Yeah, no.
Kim's response to all of this was, quote, "Kanye has been putting a lot of misinformation regarding our private family matters and co-parenting."
He just can't stay offline. It's so maddening. But he won't put his kids on?
That's the thing. It's like, he needs somebody in his life to take his phone from him or
Yeah.
change his passwords.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, I want to say that person would probably have been Kim, but now, like, she's the target,
Yep.
you know?
Mhm.
In October of 2022 was when his mental health was clearly just continuing to decline rapidly, because this is when he starts making the seriously terrible anti-Semitic remarks. Honestly, like, I don't even really want to read what he said because it's so foul towards the Jewish community. But essentially, like, he lost brand deals, he lost sponsorships because of it. I'm sure he lost a lot of fans and supporters in general, and basically, like, all of his business connections.
Because he's disgusting, as I
Yeah.
said at the beginning of this.
Right. Like, just regardless, like, I know that, like, bipolar disorder can be a very difficult mental illness to manage, but, like, for me, like, that's just kind of where I draw the line. Even his lawyer, a man named Robert Cohen, who's like a pretty famous attorney, resigned from this case because he's Jewish. And his other attorney actually was raised Jewish as well. And he actually did remain on the case. He was like, somebody has to close this case.
Wow.
Like, I can't just abandon
No,
it.
I'd be like, bye.
I know. Kim spoke on the comments that he made as well. I think it was a tweet. She said, quote, "Hate speech is never okay or excusable. I stand together with the Jewish community and call on the terrible violence and hateful rhetoric towards them to come to an immediate end."
Thank you, Kim.
Snaps for Kim. I do remember her talking on the show about how she was like, obviously, like, I mean what I said, but I do feel bad because, like, after I tweeted that, he lost brand sponsorships and business connections and all this stuff. But it's like, that would have happened anyway.
No, yeah, it needed to happen.
Right. Like, you can't represent somebody who's saying things like that. But finally, after a very long 2 years, on November 29th, 2022, their divorce was officially finalized.
Well, thank God. I know this is not where our
Right.
journey ends, but thank
It's
God.
not. Unfortunately, it is not. In terms of, like, the terms of the divorce, they have joint physical and legal custody over all 4 children. Kim receives $200,000 a month in child support from
Damn.
Kanye. I think that is specifically for, so it says they are both equally responsible for medical, educational, and security for their kids. I think it mostly goes towards their kids' private school,
Okay.
which is unbelievable to even
Yeah,
fathom,
cray
but
cray.
nonetheless. Neither of them tried for spousal support, which is probably a good thing. They also had many shared homes that they had to obviously split up. So, which, again, I know that this sounds so insane. It's like hard to feel bad for someone when this is the case, but
Yeah.
Kim got 4 homes in Hidden Hills, California, 1 home in Riverside, California, 3 homes in Idaho, and 1 home in Malibu.
Do you need that many homes? anymore.
Why do they have 3 homes in Idaho?
That doesn't make. Is there like a tax break or something? Like,
I don't know. Maybe. Although they had joint custody, though, like you're saying, Kim was and still is their primary caregiver. Like,
I think, yeah, he just doesn't like. I think based off of the show, he'll like be like, "Hey, fly my kids to China," and she's like, "What?"
it's crazy. Like, hello?
But then she does it because she's such a good freaking mom.
That's the thing. She does it every single time because she wants her kids to have a relationship with him, which
Yeah.
is just like so beyond
Yeah.
what she needs to do. Their combined net worth together, though, just in case you were curious, is $2 billion.
Jesus.
Their divorce settlement also states, which I think that this is interesting, that if the two of them have any disputes regarding decisions that involve the children, like if they're disagreeing on something that the other wants to do,
Okay.
then they have to go through mediation to solve it. And if either of them were to decide not to participate in the mediation, then it defaults to the parent that does participate.
I think that's great because I think Kim's just banking on Kanye not showing up.
Exactly. Like, they definitely put that in there because of him.
Fine by me.
For real. But yes, it was a 2-year legal battle, and I really think that it started out with her wanting to keep it so amicable because she knows that everything's going to be public and that her kids are going to read about it someday.
There's just no way that that was going to be amicable.
I know, but it really just got so ugly because of his mental health struggles.
Yeah, but she like shields her kids so well from what a terrible person he is,
She does.
which I really appreciate. Like, it's like I don't appreciate it for him. Like, she's so strong.
Mm-hmm. And I really think that it does come down to the fact that like she has such a strong family unit with her mom and her sisters, and she had such a good relationship with her dad that she's like, I just don't want my kids to be in that position, which it really, love or hate Kim Kardashian, like it really is admirable.
It is.
She could have fought for sole custody and she could have easily won. Unfortunately, though, for Kim, it did continue to be a tumultuous situation because only a couple days after the divorce was finalized, he is back on Twitter claiming that she had an affair with the NBA player Chris Paul.
I don't know who that is. No.
He's a basketball player. He claims that she's having an affair with Chris Paul and tweets, quote, "Let's break one last window before we get out of here. I caught this guy with Kim."
Jesus.
Like, ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. What are you talking about? His Twitter account was rightfully suspended shortly after this. They should have suspended it 2 freaking years ago when he decided to announce that he was running for president. The reason for the divorce stated irreconcilable differences, but largely because of what we saw in the show and combined with his continuous posts on social media, I really think that there were just years and years of chaos, and it really just seemed like there was a lot more happening behind the scenes.
Oh, for sure.
Another big issue was just Kanye's unresponsiveness in general, which partly I think that this was due to how many lawyers he went through. Earlier that year, prior to the divorce finalizing, she called him out on Instagram for it and said, quote, "I wish to handle all matters regarding our children privately, and hopefully he can finally respond to the third attorney he has had in the last year to resolve any issues amicably." As for what's kind of happened since, he gets married to Bianca Censori. I think it's Censori, but I honestly
Literally
don't know.
couldn't tell you. Yeah.
I read that it was in May 2023, but then I also read that it could have been December 2022,
Oh,
which would have been very quick. I mean,
very quick. Yeah.
either or very quickly after their divorce. But they met in November of 2020 when she started at Yeezy as an architectural designer.
Oh, and Kim's the one that cheated?
Oh, right. Also, in case you needed a little refresher as to who this woman is, she's the one who wore that naked dress to the Grammys in 2025.
Yeah, and was never invited to begin with.
Yeah. And I think they got kicked out.
Yeah, they didn't get in.
Yeah. In April 2022, Kim went on the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, Amanda Hirsch. Remember when I went to her show? Love Amanda. She's like really good. She has gotten to know all the Kardashians. She's had like all of them on her show.
That's such a flex.
I know. I don't think she's had Kendall and Kylie, but she's had like all the sisters and Chris, I'm pretty sure. Shout out to Amanda for like getting that interview because it's really hard to get Kim Kardashian on a podcast. Like I'm pretty sure the only other one she's been on is Call Her Daddy. So I love that for her. But she talked about how they went 8 months without speaking to each other after the divorce like was initiated. She said, quote, We went off and on. You know, we went about 8 months without even speaking to each other at the beginning of the divorce, and then we started talking again when I went to the Donda premiere. She also spoke so much publicly about how hard it is to just ignore his outbursts, but she just tries to do the best that she can for the sake of her kids, because he's obviously also putting it out there that she's keeping him away from their kids. Like, I remember there was one point where she literally responded to him and said, "Please stop this narrative. You were just here this morning."
Preach, as she should say that.
Which, period.
I'm sure she's got him on cameras too. She should just post that.
Right. And her response to all of that is just, quote, "Divorce is difficult enough on our children, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all."
Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that I just really wish that he would actually take in.
Nope, he won't.
He won't. And then in early 2025, on an episode of The Kardashians, Kim spoke about their divorce, which honestly I feel like was kind of rare. Like, I feel like she
Yeah.
didn't really talk about it that much.
Yeah.
She said, quote, "When you don't foresee something happening that really changes a person's personality, and then they're not the same person, and you can't ever get that person back, but you can't live with the new person." It's so sad. I think she was talking to Chloe in that situation about
Yeah.
Tristan. And then in her confessional, she continued saying, quote, "It's tougher when you don't want your marriage to end off of personal reasons, but circumstances change that force your marriage to end. When you weren't planning on that, and that's not really the outcome you want, but there's no other option. I think it makes it harder to get over."
Yeah.
Which is very sad. In terms of like their kids and how that all is being handled, she also spoke on the show about the divorce being tough on North, and that she felt like she and North was really mad at her for like a year after the divorce was started.
I just hate, like, I hate it for Kim because, like, Kim's, like, purposely not telling North everything.
I know.
So, like, North is never going to understand until she grows up, which is
I know.
unfortunate. But, like, Kim just, like, takes all the heat. Sucks.
I know. And like, it's so obvious that North loves her dad so much. It's sad. And then in October of just 2025, Kim goes on Call Her Daddy, like we just said.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where what you were kind of alluding to earlier. She's talking about Kanye's relationship with their kids and their co-parenting relationship. And she's basically like, you know, I raise them full time. They live with me. I want them to have a relationship with him. He knows that. You know, I do my best, but I also protect them when I have to. She said that it's a lot of work. She also said that, quote, "It's probably been a couple months since we've heard from him."
That's crazy.
I know. And she just basically is like, he just likes to live in different countries all the time and move a lot and blah, blah, blah. It's just like, that to me is just like such an irresponsible way to behave when you have 4 children.
Well, also, when you have partial custody, like, she's not supposed to have them 24/7.
Right. And like, it's so tough because I'm sure for her, she's like, I actually am glad that I have them 24/7.
Yeah, she wants them, but, like, theoretically, that's not how it should be working.
Right. And it's almost like he knows that he's not fit to take care of them on his own, but he still, for some reason, is like making her life more difficult because of that,
That's sad.
even though it's a him problem. And then just to wrap it up here, she said on Call Her Daddy, quote, "Every time he has asked, I will always let them see their father. That's just who I am."
Yep, it is who she is.
Yeah. And like, especially after he's created this whole narrative that she keeps him away from them.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so bad. And I honestly feel like it's probably not over. Like, I feel like we will continue to see more headlines about their situation for probably several years to come. I feel like she wants to get married again, you know?
I think she's dating somebody right now, currently, but I'm not. It's very much rumored.
I feel like I remember that too. Maybe he's a musician.
Yeah, I think she, like, recently flew somewhere, maybe with the kids, too.
I'm gonna look it up.
Anywhoosies, Kim knows we're on her side with this, and we love you, girl, and you're doing great. And she's gonna be a lawyer, I can feel it.
So true, Kim. We love you. Did you learn anything?
Yeah, like, I didn't know about, like, I knew about the Twitter rants, but I didn't really follow them that closely, so the details were fun.
I'm so glad. Yeah, I enjoyed writing this episode. It was like, I was locked in reading all this because there was just a lot that I didn't really remember. And like, I'm obviously, like, I've watched Keeping Up, I've watched the Kardashians every season, but I just didn't remember the seasons where all of this happened. But yeah, that's this week's Fame Files. Thanks for listening, everyone. Next week, we are going to be doing an episode on the Fire Festival, the absolute chaos of a festival that back in like 2017, I think. Do you remember that?
Yeah, was it on fire? Or, like, what? Actually, don't spoil it.
No, it was not on fire. It's spelled FYRE. Like that's just the name of it.
Yeah, but I didn't know what the situation was. If there was some kind of emergency. Like, I really don't know anything. I don't know.
Okay, well it'll be fun to get into it then. Yeah, I mean, the fire thing, you might be thinking of the Woodstock episode that we did. I don't think there was any fire situations at this one, but definitely just like an ill-equipped festival that a lot goes into it. So I'm excited for that one. And then the week after that, we're going to be doing our Bachelor in Paradise couples part 2, which I'm excited for. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week and come back on Tuesday for our reality digest and on Thursday for our next Fame Files. But have a good week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week for more pop culture chaos. The stories we cover are based on research and publicly available sources. While we strive for accuracy, some details may be disputed or unverified, and this episode is for entertainment and informational purposes only.